Hello there, wellness entrepreneur. Welcome back. Today, I'm honored to have on special guest Julie. And Julie's been on the podcast before, a few episodes back. I'll drop it in the show notes. But today, we're going to be talking about how she specifically went about filling webinars and workshops she's done for her own business and how that brought in clients and packages as well as how collaborating with other communities and presenting as well help to fill her own events and get clients. But first, Julie, can you remind everyone what you do, who you help, and maybe give us where they can find you and follow along with you?
Awesome. Awesome. Hi, Allison. So delighted to be here. Absolutely. Well, I work as a spiritual life coach and international psychic medium, and I help people who are suffering. And really, the number one focus is helping people find inner peace, because, that really is the key, the golden key.
Mm, love
Inner
it.
peace and happiness. And so people can find me over at heavensenthealing.us. And I do host a free monthly full moon meetup.
Mm.
And it's a great place to kind of get a taste of what I offer, what I do, and see if we resonate, you connect with the information and get your toes wet.
Awesome. So how can they join this full moon meetup?
Over at my website, heavensenthealing.us, I have a big tab at the top of the website that if you click on, it'll take you to the full moon meetup where you can get a little more information and then sign up, register. And like I said, I host it every month on or around the full moon, and we'd love to have you join us.
Awesome. I love that. So we just got a little meta there, right, to start because we're talking about your event, the Full Moon Meetup. And the whole purpose of I'm interviewing a bunch of entrepreneurs I work with, my clients, because I say this word workshop or webinar to help for you guys to gain expertise, authority for the your community to get to know you a little bit more, learn about your programs, how you work, feel your vibe. Also, those appropriate people that are looking for services that you offer feel quote unquote safe, comfortable, and trust you enough to take that next step to work with you in your packaged program or your high ticket offer. So, I say this word workshop and webinar, but what happens is a lot of my clients really take that word and run with it for themselves and create what works in their own business and for their own vision. And so one offer that you're doing right now is this full moon meetup. And you'd even say the word workshop or meetup, which I just love. But it's like the essence of that. So how did that come about for your business and how long have you been doing these full moon meetups?
Yeah, Allison. So it's been a journey. I've
Mhm.
been doing this for over 17 years,
Mhm.
which every time I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, wow, time flies.
Sure.
And so I've been doing meetups probably for 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
And I started with the full moon meetup,
Mhm.
and then that evolved into this a spiritual meetup focusing more on enlightenment,
Mhm.
enlightenment. And then I actually transitioned back into the full moon meetup.
Mhm.
And so it's been a combination of free offer, paid offer, free offer, paid offer. And at this juncture, I'm at a free offer. So I'm
Okay.
hosting a full moon meetup. It's a free offer. And again, it's to gather the community together, to create more interest, to create more energy and enthusiasm. There seems to be, in what I've noticed in the last couple of years, because I recently became enlightened last March, and my
Congratulations.
whole world has been shifted along with your help. The help that the coaching that I received from you has just been stellar in my life.
Yay.
So much freedom and liberation and peace.
Yes.
Holy crap. Um, but yeah, So there's just been a huge shift in the community. And that's the thing too that I've noticed over 17 years is things are constantly evolving and shifting. And you really got to keep your hand on the pulse
Mm-hmm.
of what people are wanting.
Mm-hmm.
So for me personally and my own journey, uh, enlightenment seems to be kind of overused buzzword
Okay, in your community.
that people were actually, it just became something else that people started chasing and
Mm.
seeking and
Mm-hmm.
not finding or realizing. And so there's just been this huge transition into new buzzwords, more about transformation, more about inner peace, more
Mm-hmm.
about experiencing joy and fulfillment in your life versus attaining something specific that many people were just simply frustrated and struggling to achieve.
Right.
So I've had a major transformation in my business in terms of what I'm offering to my community, along with what's paid and what's free.
Mm. I love that. So, just some tactical things. I love how you have your finger on the pulse and you're noticing shifts in the marketplace because there'll be shifts in the marketplace. And sometimes, even for your business, even if there's no shifts in the marketplace, what you've been doing for a long time could be working, and then all of a sudden it stops. And if you don't have your finger on that pulse and you're not recognizing that, then you won't be able to flow with it and shift on to the next thing. So it sounds like you're able to find flow in your business, which is amazing. So tell me, with the full moon meetups, are they 100% online then? And are most of your clients online? Or are you still occasionally get people coming to work in person with you? How's that going?
Um, all the stuff I do is online. I do either by phone or Zoom. So the meetup is on Zoom. I love that platform.
Mhm.
And I actually just made the decision this past week that I'm not offering any more in-person client
Mm.
appointments. And I
Mhm.
think that, that was just kind of an intention that got set um, really subconsciously.
Mhm.
And once you have this, you have to be careful because I have noticed that once you think something in your mind, be careful because it's going to come.
Mhm.
And
100%.
so I just found a lot of value working with people through Zoom and just the phone. I mean,
Mhm.
the best advice I got from a coach was when I was struggling with the transition because I had done 100% in person. And
Mhm.
she had said to me, one of the ideas of doing phone appointments is that you're just a voice in their ear. You're just guidance,
Mm.
guiding them in the storm of the night. She said, when people come in or even on a Zoom call, there's all kinds of preconceived judgments and perceptions that
Mhm.
occur subconsciously and distractions.
Mm.
And so I've noticed because people are like, oh, can you tune in and connect with the spiritual realm, you know, just simply by phone as well
Mhm.
as you can if I come in person. And
Mhm.
honestly, that connection sometimes is even stronger by phone
Ooh.
because there's no distractions. And
Yes.
the other thing I've noticed, strictly going online is that it, and I'm not a fan of the word protection, but for lack of a better word, I have more energy. When I
Mm.
did in-person appointments, I had to clean the house
Sure.
for
Sure.
every person to walk through the door. I felt like, I had to have it spick and span. So there was a lot of pressure with that. And then I've got animals, so that, pressure
Mhm.
there. And and then the energy of being with someone live in person takes
Mhm.
a different kind of energy than
Mhm.
when you're on the phone or even just doing a Zoom call. So those were a few reasons why I decided to stick with the phone, but that does absolutely work for me.
I love that because there's so many practitioners listening right now that are doing a lot of work in person and they might have some fears or hesitations thinking that, what I do doesn't transfer online or it won't be the same or it won't be as good. I won't be able to get people results. And so hearing that from you and you now they have options, Zoom, phone, they can try it for themselves. And it's knowing and trusting that, yes, I can get people results 100% online. And I don't have to do it in person, which for me too requires a little bit more energy.
Absolutely. And what I've done at kind of that transitioning with people too is we start on Zoom, we build that connection. You get to see me, you get to my intonations or whatever, and then transition into the phone. So like I often meet with people twice a month. So the first appointment we do on Zoom and the second appointment we do by phone. And I'm telling you, Allison, after a few months, people are just wanting to do phone.
Ah,
It's
love it.
like, let's just do the phone. It's easier.
It is easier. Yeah, I
Yes.
love that.
Yeah. So people sit in parking lots and talk to me in their car on the
Yeah, they
phone.
have some
It's like
privacy.
convenient.
Yeah, don't have to worry about family.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
The other thing I wanted to
mhm,
mention too, because I feel like it's important and I didn't want it to get missed,
mhm,
is I have noticed, I've, y- the golden rule, right? Number one, when you start a business is you're always offering something for free. You
mhm,
always have a free offer. So whether it's a lead magnet where, they get a free PDF or free download from your website, or you're offering something, an online format, a class or a program or a meetup. Uh, what I have found is that, first of all, it took many years to figure this out, but the first year was pretty cold. I didn't get a whole lot of response for
mhm,
anything I've offered.
mm,
It
mhm,
was the second year
mm,
where the referrals started coming in and the
mhm,
bookings and scheduling and seeing a return on investment. It was the second year. Now it's been quite interesting. By the third year, things started to drop off again.
mm, mhm,
So I have found that there's like a 3-year cycle.
mhm,
So if you're doing something for a year and not seeing any results, do not throw the towel in,
mhm.
because again, if it takes a year to get results and you're switching things every year,
Yeah.
you might be chasing your tail.
Mhm,
But like I said, I have found that second year is golden, is,
mhm.
just that the surprise. It's like, yes.
Momentum.
But by the third year, if you're seeing a decline, that's a sign it's time to switch it up again.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be big shifts. And for each business, I think 100% there's cycles and the length of time may vary business to business,
Right.
but 100% there are cycles. So is that I did want to ask you how do you decide whether to do a free offer or a paid offer? And is that paid offer a low ticket offer?
So I've, you know, different price points is so important, right? And I started out way back when I very first started my business. I started out at a local tea shop. Actually, it
Mm.
was called
Mhm.
Infinity. I love that name. And I just hosted a free community meetup,
Mm.
and we talked about spiritual topics surrounding angels.
Mhm.
And we just met once a month. And that really, by far, was my favorite one. And the other one I hosted, in my community was a book club.
Mm.
And it wasn't always a spiritual book.
Mhm.
We did all kinds of different genres and topics, but I'm a former school teacher, reading teacher, and that by far was my favorite. And then I moved into the online world and started with Blog Talk Radio,
Oh.
right? And then I bounced around from different radio networks, Women to Women, Women for Women, was the first one I jumped on. And then Om Times was an excellent one. And now, so I did radio for probably 10 years. 3 years each venue. I switched it up every 3 years. And now I've been with numerologist.com for,
Mhm.
we're rounding on 3 to 4 years now.
Nice.
And so I switched from the radio platform. The
Mhm.
one thing I did want to comment about the radio platform brought a lot of business. But what was difficult with the radio platform was I wasn't able to track.
Okay. You didn't know that they were exactly coming from it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And so I switched over to YouTube. And
Okay.
I do like YouTube because I feel like I get the statistics I
Mhm.
can track, and now they've got a helpful tool called TubeBuddy, and my everything, my performance, my videos has tripled since I started using
Awesome.
TubeBuddy. But yeah, so I've always had a free offer in combination with a paid offer.
Mhm.
And several years back, I started up a membership program, $22 a month.
Mhm.
So that's where I started, kind of combining and playing a little bit with, what I was going to do free and what I was going to do paid. But
Okay.
that $22 a month is a really nice low price point for
Mhm.
people to dive in. And I would have to say 75% of the time, that's where my package would come in.
Mhm.
So eventually, after being in the membership program a year or even 2 years,
Mm.
several
Mhm.
years, people would come into, I have a diamond mentorship program.
Mhm.
And so, what statistically speaking, what they say about the touches, people have to be touched so many
Mhm.
times by your work before they take action on that is so true.
Mhm. And it's
So very true.
increased now because of
Oh,
the
really?
yeah. It used to
Oh
be
my-
like 7 touch points or something, and now I've heard anywhere from like 14 to 16.
Well, that explains a lot because the online world really has gotten saturated since COVID.
Yep. But it doesn't
Right,
mean that you can't succeed because
right.
you've carved out your niche. So just for the listener, the funnel, so to speak, kind of is your marketing, whether it be on YouTube or in the past on radio talk shows. You're out there or numerology right now.
Numerologist.com.
Numerologist. So you're out there marketing in different ways, which then people then will they get to meet you. They like you, then maybe they can get registered for your full moon meetup. And
Right.
then maybe from the full moon meetup, they either go to the 22 dollars a month membership
Yeah.
or direct to one, but most go to the membership, then to the one-to-one mentorship.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And I did try something new last year with huge success. It was like, wow, I wish I would have thought of that sooner.
Mm.
Um, and I'd seen a lot of other people doing it, but it was just seemed, I don't know. Uh, so I did a birthday special.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Yes, yes.
That
So
did really well.
holy smokes. So for my birthday, I
Uh-huh.
did like almost half price.
Mm,
It was
mhm,
just a 30-minute session, but a huge reduced savings. And I only offered it to 11 people. My birthday's on the 11th, so I love that connection there.
mhm.
Offered it to 11 people, and over the course of the year, I would have to say at least half of those people did become members in my
Oh, they
diamond
did.
program.
Love that. So,
I
yeah,
know,
so again, creativity is figuring out it doesn't have to be one way. It's trying different things and seeing what
yes,
they're working. And
yes.
overall with the time of managing, your marketing, the meetup, the membership, and your clients, how do you feel with your schedule and your time?
Well, that was one thing that you helped me with tremendously. I had, and I'm just going to be transparent,
Uh-huh.
Allison, because
Sure.
we're good friends here.
Yes, of course.
I had gotten sucked into the online courses.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had created several online courses, three at various price points.
Mhm.
And I had found that so much time and energy had gone into all of that.
Mhm.
And I didn't experience the success that, you are led to believe is available.
Mhm.
And what I realized, and especially working with you, was that I could I could make more money
Mhm.
working one-on-one with people and have more time for everything in my life
Mhm.
than all of the work that I was doing with all of the packages and the courses and the this, that, and the other thing.
Mhm.
And so I just did a test drive. And I know when I had started working with you, I was toying with it. And
Mhm.
I had spent so much time and energy in developing these courses. And I was really having a hard time letting anything go.
Mhm.
And so I was overwhelmed, exhausted, and just depleted. And so, w- you know, you had given me the courage to just do a test. Let's just do a test. You don't have to, nothing has to be concrete here, but just for 1 year, hit pause on all the courses and programs and just focus on one-to-one clients.
Mhm.
And I am telling you, I doubled my income
Yay!
and my time, my
Mhm.
free time. I
Mhm.
doubled my income and doubled my free time. And I was like,
Amazing.
holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think what you did requires so much courage because you do have to, you do put a lot of time into the courses, and then our brain wants to offer, well, I don't want to stop because it was so much time. And it's not that they go to waste because you utilize them in other ways with your one to
Yes.
one.
Well, and I have to say, it kind of fell into the 3-year rule for me,
Mhm.
is that it was great for about 3 years. And then I hit 3 years and then it just kind of flatlined. And
Mhm.
so that was another thing that you had helped me through is that, people coming into and I had created a higher price point package, people coming into the new package, I was able to offer them as a sign up bonus, pay in
Mhm.
full, sign up within 24 hours, and you'll receive this course
Mhm.
that I charge $1,200 for free.
Mhm.
And yeah, boom,
Mhm.
50% of the people coming into the diamond program took advantage of that.
I love it. I love it.
I know.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all for naught because
Yeah.
that was my fear, was that all this work would go to
Mhm.
waste.
No, no, and who knows? Well, I know you're working towards retirement, but like
Yeah.
in 3 years, the pulse of the online marketplace may, I think, on demand programs, the demand for those has gone down because people don't want to work independently. They want someone, guiding them
Mhm.
along the way. Authentically to them, individualized. But
Yeah.
in 3 years from now, who knows? Maybe there'll be another shift in the marketplace and on-demand programs will be popular again or some hybrid version of those. And
Yeah.
that's the thing is like once you create the content and your assets and you have your intellectual property, there always be an asset for your business. And then you just make subtle tweaks to the offer dependent upon what you're feeling in the marketplace, what works for your schedule, and you have that guidance. As long as you're not shifting like every 6 months or a year,
Yeah.
then because that can get confusing for your audience, but you do have flexibility to eventually launch again if you so wanted to, or you don't, you stick with one to
Right.
one. I love it. I love it. Well, Julie, thank you so much for your time today. You shared so much information, so much inspiration for people to get ideas and just spark their own creative processes and trust like their own intuitive nudges to do things in a way that fits their life and their business and is not going to look cookie cutter to someone else, which also helps them to differentiate themselves in the marketplace. Is there any other parting words of wisdom that you would like to share with everyone, or guidance, or anything else you want to speak?
The one last thing I do want to share is sometimes it gets overlooked or I know personally for me, it was always one of those things I put on the back burner. But again, moving that to a higher priority can be a game changer in your business. And that is doing stuff like we're doing here today.
Mm-hmm.
So looking for people that you can guest host,
Mm-hmm.
because being exposed to a variety of different audiences,
Mm-hmm.
that again, it's been one of those big game changers where just guest hosting in someone's community
Mm-hmm.
can accelerate, versus doing a YouTube video every week for a year. You
Mm-hmm.
guest host on in someone's community, and that can be equivalent. So one time over here versus 52
Mm-hmm.
weeks over here are about the same return on investment. So don't neglect that,
Yeah.
and don't forget the importance that that can ultimately hold for you and your business.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I created the podcast guest framework in the portal. So it is easier because when you are guesting, if someone values your information enough to have you on, whether it be in their group or on a podcast or a Facebook Live or Instagram, it automatically boosts your credibility and positions you as the expert, which is why it gives you that extra jump in terms of conversions, I think, anyways.
I love it. I love it. And I would love a copy of this recording so I can share it on my own website.
Oh, I would love that too. Of course, 100%. Yes, we will.
Yes. Thank
Amazing.
you so much, Allison.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. And if people are interested in joining our full moon meetup, you can find us over at heavensenthealing.us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julie.
You're welcome. Thank you.